Hello, friend. Welcome to Discoverage 17.9. With Peter Amory. Hello.
I'm shivering in the cold.
Oh, no.
I was feeling cold anyway, and then they went and had an episode with snow. Made it worse.
You have a little bit of...
Previously on Star Trek Discovery.
From Puri.
Hello, Args. Puri here to talk about the Discovery episode, The Sanctuary. Oh, very Quasimodo. Yeah, I quite enjoyed this. I don't know if it's the most significant. It was nice to kind of get a bit of background on Book. Not too much, but we got a little, and we got to go back to the Sanctuary world. There's a bit more stuff with the Emerald Chain. It was quite focused on the actual episode had a fairly tight focus on what was happening. It was all about the attack on the Sanctuary and kind of the interaction with the Syra. But I just felt more people got stuff to do. So we got, for example, Saru getting to use his super hearing. We got Adira announcing that they were they, and I did like that. It was because there was almost. I actually really thought it was well done because when Stamets says, what was it? She's very fast, or she's quite impressive, or something like that, and her face almost does a little tick. It is like a thing that you could see. It's annoying them, and so it was really nice when she came out with that. And yes, this is her pride from Stamets and Culber are almost like a couple proud of their child, which I thought was really quite cool. Although it's interesting that Gray's not talking to her. I wonder if is that another watch we've got to put on. I thought. Giorgio is, as always, a lot of fun. I do like the way they have kind of very much put in that she threatens people as much as a shield. I was blissfully thinking of your head in a pike and that sort of thing. And when she came in the outfit, I've had to dress as a human spermatozoa. It was just brilliant stuff. So yeah, she's still. But again, we do. What I like about these is they don't seem to be staying as mystery boxes. We had Depner watch, and indeed Depner seems to get her groove back in this one, and it was nice to see her have stuff to do again. She wasn't just there to look a bit concerned, and the bridge just felt. I don't know what it exactly is. I think it was because people were chiming in and suggesting the bridge just felt a bit more like a crew rather than background characters to whatever Saru, Burnham, and Tilly are doing, which I thought was really good. I also like just the comedy thing of Saru trying to come up with his way of saying, go to warp, what is to execute, and that sort of thing. And, it's something we've all thought of. Obviously we have the classics. We have Engage. Kirk didn't have one though. Kirk never had a thing that he said, but yeah, he's looking for his own one. I thought was quite cute. And Linus is peeling again. It's always nice to hear about Linus and just the weird stuff that's going on with him. So, I think this one just kept me in. I mean, the only thing I'd say is the space fight. The Book's ship kind of swooping around. I thought some of the footage looked a bit samey, but that could just be me. And I quite like the wooden guns on the surface as well. Nice little touch. So yeah, overall, again, maybe not exactly groundbreaking, but I think this one just felt like a good solid episode. Some really nice stuff. So that's definitely kept me happy. So all that remains for me to say is do keep up the good work. I'm always enjoying the podcast, and I'll hopefully feedback in the next episode. Until then, bye for now.
Bye.
I see someone else who liked the whole Saru trying to find his catchphrase thing. At this rate, you may as well just go with "say what you see."
Okay. An old quiz show reference, folks. It was much better because it gave other people lots to do, didn't it? Yes, it wasn't all just focused on Michael, so that was good.
It was Discovery, not the Michael Burnham show.
Yeah. And we're a little bit more on Grey Watch tonight. I suppose we are going to start calling it that, aren't we? So, yeah, that's the thing. Terra Firma Part 1. And we should have been able to guess, really, from that title where this was going. Yeah. But there we go. So it shows how slow I am.
Terran greets death every morning. Being ill simply means that my birthday is arriving sooner.
Philippa, you're never going to get the death you want here. You'll be a study. Just a point of reference. You want honor? It's out there. No more tests, or poking, or prodding. Just you and me. And whatever's waiting for you on that planet.
David Cronenberg! He's back! Yeah, he's been looking at the data on Giorgio. Great to see him back again.
But ew, eyes.
Yes, when they reconstruct Giorgio, yeah, that's a big
Start with the eyes, don't start there. Just, no.
He brings up an image of a Starfleet officer wearing the Season 1 to 2 Next Generation uniform, the one without the collar. Although the piping around the neck, I think, is a bit thicker than there was standard in the day, but, it's nice to see. Proper com badge on it as well. This is a temporal soldier from the Time War. Apparently, travelling through time and alternate universes screws with your body, and that's what Giorgio is suffering from. David Cronenberg advises against Culber, telling her the bad news is apparently Terrans only want to die in battle, and therefore she'll create one. Very Klingon.
Yes.
Giorgio is struggling to touch a glass in the mess hall, and Tilly does her usual morale thing of sitting next to the person in need, and gets coated in food for her efforts. The ship's sphere-augmented computer has found a cure on Danos 5, which borders on the Gamma Quadrant. Ooh, Dominion update, please. No, we don't get anything in this, though, sadly. The cure will give Giorgio a 5% chance of survival. Really? Is it worth it for that? Anyway, Saru isn't unsympathetic, but the entire fleet is on yellow alert because of the threat of the Emerald Chain. But Admiral Vancepants permits them to go, telling Saru privately that the loss of a crew member because the captain didn't try to save them affects the ship's morale severely.
Which is logical.
Yeah. I'm loving this guy more and more.
Yeah.
He's coming close to knocking Ross off his perch as top admiral ever. As predicted, Giorgio gets all fighty with Michael, but draws the line at killing her. And Burnham persuades her exploring the cure is where the real honour lies. So that's a teaser, and then Discovery jumps to Danos 5 and detaches its nacelles just to piss Anne-Marie off. There's a sweet goodbye from Saru, calling Giorgio Emperor, and a hug from Tilly.
See, that the stuff that comes from Saru and Tilly, I get because of who they are as people. But the fact that Giorgio is sort of nice doesn't work.
Well, I think the idea is that she has been getting slightly nicer as the stories have gone by, and this is kind of, I think this two-parter is to kind of expose that she's no longer the nasty person she used to be.
Yeah.
They've been down to a very snowy part of Danos 5. It looks great, but made Anne-Marie cold.
Yeah.
It's presumably Iceland with added stuff in the sky, making it look more alien. But why aren't they wearing hats? Oh, should have been wearing a hat. I'll catch a cold.
Yeah, I've got a Discovery hat. They obviously have Discovery hats because I've got one. So where's theirs?
As Trekcore pointed out, this is an inverse of the opening scenes of Season 1.
Yeah.
With Philip and Michael in the desert in that one. Adira is struggling with tiredness and grief because of Gray's disappearance. And Stamets is being as sweet as usual.
Yeah.
Book offers his services to Saru, who tells him to wait for his moment.
Which is fair enough, because he's like, I can understand you're keen, but I don't have anything specific for you to do at the moment, but...
Yes.
It's sort of... But I know, there will be a time.
Your time will come.
Yeah.
Things take a turn for the weird on the planet with a door and a dude called Carl in a bowler
hat and a bench and a... Oh.
It's all very Narnia, isn't it? Door in the middle of nowhere.
It reminds me a bit of the bit I never really understood or liked in one of the Harry Potter books where Dumbledore's in a train station or something. It's just, no. I don't know whether it's supposed to be something... I mean, it's something to do with the afterlife, or whether it's a bit like that doorway is a portal, a bit like in his Dark Materials, or what. But why the fuck a bloke with a bowler hat and a cigar with a newspaper making puns?
I quite liked it, actually. I mean, it's no less magic than the Deep Space Nine magical transporter things that they just waved and then beamed to the other universe.
I don't mind that. I don't mind that it's just a door. That's completely fine. But what is punning Bowler Hat Man's purpose? They've gone to this place. There's something there. They don't know what. There's a 5% chance it's going to help. Oh, look. A door that doesn't belong there. Well, surely Georgie's got to go through it. No shit, Sherlock. And then she goes through. We had, 5 whole minutes, maybe more, of Michael going, no, don't go through, but it's fucking obvious that's what she's supposed to do. And some bloke in a bowler hat...
Like he says, you really should have researched doors more before beaming down.
Yeah. And then he's there with, I've got tomorrow's newspaper and maybe you're dead. It's like, none of that's necessary. The character isn't necessary. The puns are annoying. The bench is... unnecessary. There's a cigar. I don't know why. It's just we only need the door, and when we see the door, it's fucking obvious. She goes through it. Go through the fucking door.
I liked it. I mean, we haven't had a weird Q-like alien yet in Discovery, so this was kind of a nice change of tone, really. But anyway, I mean, if nothing ever comes of it, then I'll be more on your side of things. But at the moment, it's a nice element of mystery, and hopefully we'll get some answers. But, I'm up for a superpowered alien or two, because we haven't had one in a very long while. Anyway, we have a call through the window shot of a Kelpian distress signal. Where we go through the window of Discovery, that is. The signal's over 100 years old. It's the one from the source of the burn, isn't it, presumably? And Tilly is suddenly a medical expert, spotting radiation burns on the Kelpin's head, which is a bit odd, but there we go.
Well, no, it's not necessarily a medical expert, but if she's been looking at all the data and information and stuff from around the burn, then radiation burns is something she's going to recognise.
It wasn't called the burn for that reason, it was because all the dilithium burnt up, wasn't it?
Yes, but the burn from the radiation problems from the dilithium have presumably caused problems for other people elsewhere as well.
Georgia goes through the door and seems to be back in the mirror universe with Keely and the other Terrans saluting her as she arrives. Apparently it's the day that Lorca betrays her. Oh, please let us see Lorca. We don't, annoyingly, but never mind. Nice to see Mirror 002 leaving Giorgio's honour guard. Mirror Michael turns up, played very differently by Sonequa Martin Green. I like that. And she's got purple lipstick.
I thought it was blue to match the uniform.
Yeah, it was purple.
I thought it was blue.
It was purple.
I'm sure it was blue. It looked blue to me.
Oh, and we get to see those crappy repair droids who get red eyes rather than blue in this universe. In a nice bit of cross-universe continuity, we see Mirror Commander Landry. Remember her? Former security chief under Lorca.
I remember her as Tori from Battlestar.
Exactly.
Galactica, but yeah, she's the one who gets
Sharma,
offed by the tardigrade.
That's right, yes. Giorgio saves Saru from the cooking pot, showing how she's changed. She asks him why Michael is betraying her and employs him as a spy, basically.
Nice.
Mira, Owo and Reese get into a fight, and he ends up in a bit of a bloody mess, it has to be said.
Yeah.
Then there's this weird ceremony thing with Stamets doing poetry and acrobats telling Giorgio's story.
Again.
That is
We
odd.
didn't need all the bloody annoying door stuff. There's a door, go through it. We didn't need a whole fucking circus show.
No, that
we
is
just
odd.
needed to unveil the fucking curtain.
Yeah, that's it. And I'd forgotten how much the Charon looks like the Ulysses 31
Yes, it does.
ship. We have a player tune.
Yeah, I am no sweet robot, friend of Ulysses.
Anyway,
Ulysses.
yeah, all right, we'll play it. Stamets is about to stab Giorgio in the back, but she sees it coming and stabs him in the neck instead. Arrested, Michael admits to betraying Giorgio and challenges her to execute her daughter, but she can't do it, and gets her sent to the Agonizer. And the episode, I think, ends a bit weakly, ironically, with Owo giving her Emperor a look, and that's pretty much it. It's like, I mean, if Lorca should have turned up at the end, that would have been the real, stunning ending to the story. But never mind, perhaps they can't afford him anymore.
Yeah, could be. Or
I want to say hello to Jason Isaacs again.
Yeah. But just with a look, it would have been better if it had ended. I mean, depending on what the opening scenes of the next episode are, I just think it better if it had ended in a different place. So it would ended, for example, this one on where it freeze frames on the knife on Michael's throat.
Possibly.
And have that as a cliffhanger.
Yeah, or even with Stamets coming up behind her with a dagger,
Yeah.
that would have been something. But
I think they've decided this is a two-parter because there's a little bit too much for one episode. So they've padded it out
with the book. Ah, yes.
Padded
it
out with unnecessary doorman and circus shit.
Right. I can see, you could be right. On the upside, the actors are clearly having fun playing their mirror counterparts. They're just relishing it, particularly Sonequa Martin Green.
Yeah.
Who, of course, missed out last time, so
yes.
she gets to be Ebel this time.
Yes, and she's good Ebel.
Yeah. I mean, it feels a bit weird going back to the mirror universe, but presumably this is to say some sort of effort to explore how Giorgio has changed.
Yeah.
And yeah, I quite like the magic door of magic, but there we go.
I don't have a problem with the door. It's the other.
bowler hat.
The padding, as I see it.
It'll all hinge on how part 2 plays out ultimately, but part 1 was okay.
Yeah, I would say most of the mirror stuff was fun. I just was annoyed by the padding. Now, it might be that later on you come back to Doorman again, in which case, in retrospect, I won't mind that bit. But
Yes.
I'm never going to be happy with the circus shit.
Yeah, the sex shit was needless. Yeah, and the rhyming was atrocious as well, so yeah.
It just made me think of the Lego movie. All of this is true because it rhymes.
Yes. Well, let's find out what other people thought. So we've heard from Bagsy Dave, who spotted that Carl's paper is the same name as the one that reports Edith Keeler's death in the City of the Edge Forever.
Oh.
Which, of course, features a portal to another time. So,
Oh, yes.
And actually, fact, Trekcore then posted a picture of a screen grab of the paper. The price is in Quaterloos, which is nice.
Yeah.
It says Starship USS Jenolan reported to be missing. That's
Nice,
Next
yes.
Generation. Supernova threatens to con Empire, billions perish. So there's a few references on there.
Yeah. What did Martin make of this?
Hi, there's Martin with some feedback on Terra Firma Part 1. Yes, this was an enjoyable episode. Again, like with last week, I kind of like... I'm feeling I'd like to see more about the Burn storyline and about the distress call, and that's the interesting stuff to me, whether we got another sidestep this week. But, obviously we're expanding Giorgio's story, and we're kind of finding out what's wrong with her. And David Cronenberg is back, which is nice to see. Although he had this odd blocky tie, I kept wondering about. But yeah, I mean, if you have Michelle Yeoh in your series, you need to give her something to do, rather than just show up and act snarky for about 5 minutes every episode. Well, not that I dare say it's not a very fun part. Part to do, but yeah, we find ourselves on another planet, on a snow planet for once, not a desert planet or the planet of Canada, and we meet a Time Lord. I think strange old guy who sends Philippa back into the Terran Empire. I think there must be some time travel involved here. But yeah, it also makes me wish I'd rewatched some of season 1 now, as I'm trying to figure out where exactly we are and what everyone's relationships are, and wondering if we might see Lorca again, which would be interesting. I'm not a huge fan of a lot of the Mirror Universe, Terra and Empire stuff, but I have to admit this was gripping. It really drew me in, and it didn't seem as long as the running time. So I guess we'll find out what happens next week and whether there's any kind of repercussions for the wider universe. But again, I kept wanting to flip back to the Prime universe and see what was happening on board Discovery. There's some nice moments as well for Philippa. I have to admit, when she called Saru Captain, and she tried to say goodbye to Tilly properly. Everybody obviously is having a lot of fun with their Mirror Universe counterparts. Sonequa Martin Green was very good in this, and it seems that Mary Wiseman has been at the hair straighteners. But yeah, I think that's everything I'm on to say on this one. It's enjoyable enough. I mean, it feels like it's drawing us away from the main plot a bit, but yeah, it's all good stuff. So we'll see what happens next week. Okay, cheers, bye.
Bye. I didn't notice Cronenberg's tie. I was just pleased to see him.
It did look kind of chunky. Like had clips things around it. Yeah, it's very strange. Perhaps it does itself up, probably.
Or it's one of those things that sometimes it's a tie and then it disappears if you're not looking.
Maybe stealth tie. Okay.
Like the floor and all the rest of it.
Oh, crud! Yes, programmable ties. Blimey.
Oh, yeah.
But yes, it is quite the sidestep. This one, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we'll get back to the burn eventually, I guess, but probably not next week, I suspect.
No. Is it a Time Lord?
Well, no, but it wouldn't be the first Time Lord to appear wearing a bowler hat, would it?
No.
So, but not very likely on Star Trek, I found out feeling.
No, maybe not. Maybe not.
And he would have had a cut-glass English accent had it been a Time Lord, let's face it. So.
That's true, that's true.
Cool, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And we've heard from the Llama God.
Lamagaslag, Scotland, Finkit, Yayig. I'm looking at the Empress in the Mirror. Okay then, this week's episode, I'm not sure about this one, because, I mean, on the surface, there's a lot here to enjoy, not least of which is, of course, Empress Shoujo, and who doesn't want her to walk on them wearing high heels whilst insulting them? It's not, and I know that's not just me, pretty much the entire Star Trek fandom that I interact with online wants that, but yeah, aside from that, one of my pet peeves, I'm sure I've mentioned this before in previous feedbacks to previous Star Trek episodes, is that I don't like parallel universe stories, at least not until we can see what the impact is going to be on our actual characters, because the thing about a parallel universe is that it's a parallel universe, it isn't the universe in which our story is taking place. The characters are not our characters. I mean, there's that New Who episode where they meet the Cybermen for the first time, kind of in New Who anyway. And the first time I saw that, I was like, yeah, whatever, because this doesn't actually impact our main universe where the main characters live. It's only when things play back into the main universe and the stories and the lives of the characters that I actually paid any attention to it. And now in retrospect, I liked it, but at the time I didn't. And it's the same is true here. I mean, yes, this is our Flipper Georgia. She is also going through something, but really, this is kind of just like a nice what if with the characters all playing and dressing up. And I'm sure by the end of next week's episode, she's going to have learned something very important. But right now, it's like, yeah, I don't care so much about the parallel universe versions of the characters because these aren't the characters I've been following. So, yeah, so I'm feeling slightly unsatisfied with this week's episode, to be honest, and it's all really hinging on next week's one. Not to say that there's nothing good about this episode, of course. There's some great acting from everyone. Michelle Yeoh is obviously brilliant. Sonequa Martin Green does a brilliant performance, I thought, as the alternate universe Goth Michael. That was brilliant. And, of course, I could say things about Captain Killy, but I won't because this is a family-friendly podcast. Wait, hang on. No, I've been listening to the wrong podcast, haven't I? But anyway, you don't want to hear what I wanted to say about that. But yes, all the performances are great, the production values are great, it is entertaining, but at the end of the day, what does it mean? And it's kind of interrupted a run of really great Star Trek episodes. They've been doing really well at highlighting what the principles of the Federation and Starfleet are, so I want to see more of that, not so much this, unless that's going to be Georgiou's takeaway from all this, that she has to embrace how the Federation works and not the Terran Empire or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, what I really want to see is more with the rest of the crew, because there were some great moments in this episode. I want to see proper Stamets and Adira, and not just because Mirror Universe Stamets had some awful poetry. He really deserved to die for that. Not even for the assassination attempt, just because the poetry was terrible. But Stamets' scene with Adira was lovely, as ever. He continues to be their surrogate father. And we get some great stuff between the Admiral and Saru. It was nice to see that the Admiral, although as has been mentioned recently, is that, yeah, he's someone who is doing the best he can in a terrible situation. He's still there, holding on to the principles of the Federation, and he makes it clear this time, now that he's gotten to know the crew of Discovery a bit more, and he's not just constantly annoyed by them and their actions. Yeah, he's actually just trying to do the right thing in a difficult situation. So yeah, continuing to really like this Admiral. Of course, he does give us a bit of fear there when he states to Saru that, yeah, don't worry about the Emerald Chain, they'll take care of it. Because, yeah, that's one of those phrases in TVs and movies where you know you're not going to see those characters again, or something's going to go horribly wrong by the time the Discovery gets back. So yeah, when the Discovery's back from this little indulgent trip, they are going to be finding themselves having to save the Federation from the Emerald Chain, I'm pretty sure. But it was also nice to see that the SOS didn't come from the Discovery, which is kind of what I thought it was going to be when they said, oh, you better get Saru when we decoded the message, because, you know, the Discovery is at the centre of everything, or Michael and the Red Angel, or something like that. No, it was just a Kelpian vessel, and that was great to see, like that. And we also got a nice callback in that as well when, I can't remember who it is, pointed out that the Discovery has access to the prefix codes. Yes, the prefix codes again. Hurrah! And in another good movie callback is the revelation that the Romulan mining vessel opened a gateway into a parallel universe. So yeah, that's the Kelvinverse, so they actually acknowledge that the J.J. Abrams films are taking place in a parallel universe. So, you know, that's definitely something interesting. Hopefully they won't ever follow that one up, but nice to see it acknowledged anyway. And finally, I wasn't going to not mention this, is that the alien with the door on the planet was very much a Star Trek thing, wasn't it? This isn't something we've seen from Star Trek in a long time. A hugely powerful alien with weird godlike powers, who will turn out to just be a powerful alien or something. He obviously won't be a god, but again, this is very much original series Trek. You have the mysterious alien who's going to do something seemingly magical to help progress the plot or the story. So yeah, I enjoyed seeing that side of it, at least. So yeah, again, Strange New Worlds, this is it. So as I say, I didn't not enjoy this episode, but I'm just not satisfied with it from a story point of view. And yeah, I'm really waiting for next week's one to see how it's going to conclude and how it's going to be relevant in the end. So as ever, I'm looking forward to hearing what other people made of this episode. I hope that everyone's keeping safe in the run-up to what's promising to be a very odd Christmas. And until next time,
Only you and your cast.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I tend not to like Mirror Universe stuff unless it impacts on ours, but I'm expecting this to.
Yes, well, it's certainly going to impact on Giorgio, if nothing else. So, yeah.
Well, I think it's going to be more than that, because she's gone back in time and is a different person, having been changed by her experiences on the Discovery. So I think that's then not going to affect necessarily Discovery's future, as in it's not going to rewrite seasons 1 and 2 of Discovery, but it may have impacts on where Discovery is now in terms of either the burn or the Emerald Chain or something, and either that's going to be a good thing or it's going to be a bad thing. Or it could be that the idea that the Terran universe and our universe are drifting further apart, that stops happening because of a changed Georgiou back in that environment. So, I mean, it could be something else entirely, but I'm fully expecting whatever is happening in the mirror universe with Georgiou to have some kind of impact, because it isn't exactly the same events playing out again. It's a different Georgiou who's been changed by her experiences on Discovery. Unless that always was the case, and it's that Ouroboros type paradox thing.
That does me head in.
Well, it could be, but yes, I also thought that when he said, don't worry, we've got this about the Emerald Chain, I also thought, no, you haven't.
They'll come back and find that the whole place has been blown up.
Yeah.
Starfleet HQ's gone. Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. And has there not been any repercussions for the whole Detmer flying book ship? As it, as in Starfleet repercussions. Obviously there has from the Emerald Chain, but...
Yeah. Well, if there has, we haven't heard about it, so
Yeah.
You like Carl as well, though, so that's nice. I'm not on my own there. Yeah. And, the JJ universe does get reference, which is interesting, as a parallel universe, which I think is what it should be. So fair enough, I can live with that and ignore it.
Yes.
And yes, that poetry was terrible.
Yes, and he did deserve to die just for the poetry. It was really quite bad.
Brilliant. Well, there we go. We shall follow up with part 2 next week, and we'll find out how things develop. It's all up in the air, really, as to whether it'll turn out to be good or not, but we shall see.
We shall see.
Take care, folks. Cheery bye.
Bye.
With thanks to Andy Palastides for the Borgcast Discovery artwork. All music referenced is for illustrative purposes only, and no copyright infringement is intended.
Find our website at borgcast.libsyn.com.
We have a Facebook page, and we have a YouTube channel as well.
You can find the Borgcast playouts on Spotify for your listening pleasure.
Visit our Tumblr site at borgcast.tumblr.com, where you'll find images accompanying the episodes discussed in this cast.
Send emails or MP3s to borgcast@gmail.com.
Or you can contact us via Twitter on rev_org or borgcastammo. Hashtag Borgcast.
Shut it down!